Hi, and welcome to College Planning Untangled, where we help simplify the lives of our families that are going through the college planning process. I'm Kristin Clark. I'm a career exploration coach for 16 to 26-year-olds, helping them find a career that's going to make them happy. And I'm here with Bobby Hood, who is our SAT, ACT expert. And by the way, all the MCATs, LSATs, and all the other letters type tests. Yeah. Bobby, how's life?
It's great, getting ready for Christmas and family and all that stuff.
Yeah, and last minute clients that are trying to knock stuff out before the end of the year.
Yeah, the ACT's this Saturday again, so lots of students.
Oh, is it this Saturday? Okay, so it's time to get serious.
Right.
Good. Good. Then they can relax a little bit after that.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, today we wanted to talk about how to help our high school and college students and early 20 somethings, why it's important for them to have a LinkedIn profile and the things that they just need to make sure that they do regarding that. So, Bobby, talk to me. Why do you think it's important for high school students and college students to have a LinkedIn profile?
Well, I mean, it's funny because you want to limit when you want to keep your Instagram and whatever other, social media profiles where employers can't see them, right? And you want to be very careful about what is on them. But then there is one social media that you've got to have, which is LinkedIn, because that's just, a lot of jobs require you to interview, file for interviews through LinkedIn, right? Things like that. So,
Well, and the reality is this. The quick apply button is not working anymore.
right.
So, when people are saying, "Oh, I'm having a hard time getting a job," when, our recent college grads, it's no joke. And we talked about that a couple shows ago. But the important thing is you have to know people. And even more importantly, other people need to know who you are
Right.
to be able to get these jobs. And I'm telling you, Bobby, I can't tell you how many of my clients that are walking out of college and they have absolutely no LinkedIn presence at all.
Right.
And when we're trying to not only get them a job before thinking about careers or getting the careers, we're playing catch up, right? Because it's one of those things that you don't want to go in and say, oh, get 100 contacts this week. You have to build up, right? And that's where employers are going. They're going to LinkedIn. And quite frankly, if you are not serious enough to have a LinkedIn profile, that's going to be a ding.
Well, right, because they're going to want to find out any information they can about you, right? So they're going to look and see if you have any social media profiles they can find. But the one that they want to find is LinkedIn. And of course, when you can start by connecting up with, your parents and people your parents know and people you've met through them, right? And so that can start getting you.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if you're going up against somebody that has a full-blown LinkedIn profile,
right,
and you got nothing, guess what's going to happen?
It's just some evidence that you took something seriously and you went and clicked all the buttons and filled out your background and all that, right? And your skills and all that thing, right? That's it.
Here's the other thing, Bobby, that I think is really helpful. Like starting in high school, and I always tell my high school clients, I'm like, go and connect to your teachers. But not a lot of teachers around there. I got to be honest. I rarely see them there. But I'm like, your neighbors, your aunt, your uncle, your cousins that have careers, go link up to anybody that you can to start at least getting your tentacles out.
Those connections. And when you interview at a job, you can go and look and see if you have connections in common there that you could, ask somebody for an introduction or whatever, right?
Absolutely. And as you know, on LinkedIn, then they give you other people that you might want to connect to that knows your Uncle Joe,
Right.
So it's not something that you have to race in high school, but you want to start logging in the things that you've done. So here's another piece of that is now you've got a place to say, oh yeah, I did volunteer with Young Men's Service League or the Red Cross or Meals on Wheels or whoever. So it's in there already. And you don't have to remember, when you're scrambling to get a job, it's already in there.
Absolutely. And I mean, part of the thing too is if students work with you and they've identified at least, the types of careers they might be interested in, and you start connecting with some people in careers like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, people who take LinkedIn seriously are posting articles and interesting commentary and stuff about those careers To me, it's the most boring thing I've ever seen. Right?
It can be, yeah.
People get very intense about it, and really, I think the people who are involved in it find it very rewarding. And so yeah, start reading. You'll find out more things about your careers, and you'll just start learning things. And these are things you can talk about in an interview and say, oh, well, I saw this article on LinkedIn, blah blah blah, when you're in your interview, right? So it just makes it sound like you are really actually paying attention to the career, and you're not just looking for any job out of college.
Right. And you brought up a really, really important point that I want to make sure that our listeners caught. And that is, you can see what people are talking about in that career. I want you to think back, guys, when you knew nothing about your career, now kind of having some insight and going, that's what they're talking about. Is that interesting to me? I mean, it's meaningful.
Yeah, you can find the opposite out, which is you're like, oh, this is incredibly boring. But then you run across some other things. You're like, wait, now that's interesting. This might be a way to actually help yourself zero in on what would be a rewarding career.
Absolutely. And who are the movers and shakers in your industry? Yeah. So that's it, guys. I mean, don't overthink this, but I would definitely, as a parent, go in and just check it out. Make sure they don't have a selfie on there where they're out partying. I mean, this does need to be a nice shot. And if they're in high school, I don't mind having the graduation picture or something like that. Now, when they get into college, they're going to start stepping up their game a little bit. And especially when they're out of college, they need to step it up and have a nice photo of themselves. But get in there, parents, even if you're not familiar with LinkedIn, it's not that complex. It's like any other social media. You get in there, you make it look nice. But this one's obviously more professional than most of your socials.
Absolutely. And I mean, and students nowadays are very good at, finding good pictures that they know how to find one that looks professional and all that. And right, that's it. They know how to do it. Just get them to set it up. Like, it's boring, but just needs to be done.
Absolutely. All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay, great. Talk to you next week.